Hello. Hello, Monday. We are here.
It's Monday at 8:55.
It's
You know what that
8:55.
means.
5 minutes. 5 minutes to places. 5 minutes.
Thank you, 5.
Thank you, 5, Miss Janine.
Turn on some sweet tunes.
Turn on the sweet tunes. Who's out there in the world tonight? Hey, Natalie.
Natalie's here.
Jamie
and
B.
James is here.
Jamie B.
Patrick, ever faithful. Sarah
Patrick.
Morrissey, ever faithful.
Sarah. I know, we got this whole...
I didn't know if Sarah
Hey,
might
Mike.
have a show tonight. She's
Bonsoir.
in there.
Hey, y'all.
She's in there
Guten Tag.
performing too. My cousin Jeff. I think that
great.
might mean my Aunt Lucille and Uncle Tom might be watching as well.
Welcome back.
Deetra's here. Great to see you
Hey,
too,
Bonnie.
Bonnie Jean. Bonnie Jean from the PG. Yeah, so how was everybody's Monday? Hope you're hanging tough in the world. Happy Memorial Day, friends, neighbors.
Wiggins, yes. Yes.
Yeah. I think probably maybe some people ate some barbecue. Faye Moore is here with me tonight, Deetra says. Faye Moore! That's a blast
Moore?
from the past.
Michael?
My mom and dad are here. Yeah, we didn't eat barbecue.
We didn't do barbecue.
We
We didn't do
had
barbecue.
salmon and asparagus and couscous. We're like, I don't know. It wasn't very...
You know,
It wasn't very Memorial
you know.
Day-ish, but we're in lockdown
we live
here.
outside the box. If you haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah, exactly. Betsy and
Betsy
Maureen
and
are here from
Maureen.
New Jersey.
All around the country,
okay.
all around the globe.
Yeah, we
Great.
looked. There was 10 countries represented last time I checked here, which is pretty crazy.
It
Which
is
is
very crazy.
awesome.
Marcia, good evening.
Lady and gentleman, we are at 2 minutes. 2 minutes to places, folks. 2 minutes.
Thank you too.
Hey, make sure you got your tasty beverage now, everybody.
LaShawn Keys are here, New York City. Marcia's from
Popcorn.
Kansas.
And your candy and your...
Popcorn and candy. We don't have any of that.
and
We
your
have
ice
so many
cream,
things
whatever.
in here right now. I don't think
This might be the most
stuff.
involved
Yeah.
tiny theater we've done.
We're playing multiple characters tonight,
Yes.
y'all.
Yeah, get ready.
Get ready. We're
Get
playing
ready.
multiple characters. It's a little
This is
schizophrenic.
gonna get wild.
He is gonna get a little
Hey,
wild.
It's gonna get wild and crazy, but that's okay.
Yeah, we got sound
This is an
effects.
exciting week.
Yeah,
We got sound
We got
effects,
sound
we got-
effects. We got props. We got signage.
Signage.
We're gonna be doing costume changes.
That's right.
What is happening? Bill Marshall's here. Hi, Bill.
Oh, God.
Welcome.
Hey, well, yeah, this week will be fun because
Yeah.
we're going to celebrate an individual.
Yeah, we're celebrating one playwright this week. And what a playwright.
What a playwright.
Yeah.
What a playwright. Okay.
We like wild and crazy, Jamie says. Well,
Crazy.
sit down. Make sure you keep your arms and legs inside the ride at all times.
That's right. That's right.
I can't believe it, but it's already time.
It is time. It's time to go.
She said it will be like a full production. It will be like a reading of a multiple character. Jamie said it will be like a full production. So it's not ish.
Ish,
It's
yeah.
the ish.
It'll be a full production.
Definitely ish.
Yeah.
Okay, here
Hey,
we
Stephanie.
are. We're at places.
Favorite places, everybody.
Lady and gentleman, can I have places, please? Places, please. For the top of the scene. Places, please. Places, please.
Please. I hope I have everything. Did you do a final
Oh
prop
my
check?
gosh. I
Milo was
hope
in
Milo
here doing
was-
last
yeah,
looks.
he was on
I'm
there.
not sure.
Hey, Trent.
He did take one of my barrettes.
Yeah. Yeah, but he did a very nice job. It was very clean, and he's done a nice job. Nice
Yeah,
job.
okay.
We're going to keep him.
Yeah, we'll keep him around.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tiny Theater. Thank you for joining us this evening. At this time, we ask that you silence your cell phones, unwrap those candy wrappers, as we know the sound travels for 5 long, irritating miles. So crack open a tasty beverage, sit back, put the world on pause, and enjoy our next production.
Thank you, Janine.
Thank you, Janine. Welcome.
Woo-hoo. Janine is our remote stage manager.
Right. That's right.
So, hey, everybody. Welcome to Tiny Theater.
Theater.
Yeah, here we are. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. If you've never been with us before, I'm Rachel.
I'm Brendan.
And we're still here in our closet doing play readings.
Yeah.
Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Because that's just what we do.
What's happening?
We had a fantastic one on Friday night.
Oh, yeah, so many people came out. Well, not really came out. Stayed at home. So many people stayed at home and sat
So
on
many
your
people
couch
stayed
and
home.
watched.
And tuned into Tiny
Which
Theater.
was super, super awesome. I mean, we had over 100 people watch us. And in the time that we had it up, I think like 800 people saw it. We had it up for just a very abbreviated period of time. And so that was pretty unreal.
It was great.
So thank you.
We had
Do we
fun.
have any special announcements or thank yous today?
Well, we don't. Well, we just want to thank everybody for tuning in. We know that we had some special guests because on Friday we co-hosted with Penobscot Theater
Truth.
up in Bangor, Maine. So I know we had several of the Penobscot folks tuning in, which we
Maniacs.
appreciate. And I think some of them might be returning, which is great.
That's nice.
And no, it was just a great way to wrap up that week and celebrate Thornton Wilder and American theater and
the
it was
whole
just great.
enchilada.
Yeah, and so now we're really excited to delve into this week with our new
This
playwright.
is wild.
Should we just jump right in and
Yeah,
do this
I think we should just
announcement?
jump
Okay.
right in. So
Ready?
tonight's playwright, we're so excited to announce, is Jacob M. Appel.
I didn't know if you were
very-
going to. Well, I didn't know if you were going to do the initial or not.
Oh,
so
I was
okay,
going to do
so
the
we-
initial.
okay.
Yeah, that's a full
Jacob M. Appel.
name. You might not know Jacob's name, but Jacob is this, he's a polymath. Do you know what a polymath is? A polymath is someone who has multiple professions. That's basically a genius. Jacob is a professional lawyer. He's a playwright. He's a novelist. He's a poet. He is a doctor of psychiatry at Mount Sinai in New York City. He's currently working the ER during the COVID-19 pandemic. What else does he do?
He's a bio.
He's a bioethicist. So he's a professor. How did
He's a novelist.
Did I say
He's, or I think you might. Writes plays and novels. He is a licensed tour guide in New York City.
Yes, he's written all these books. Look at all these books.
And that's just a few.
That's just a few of them. And so, how did we find Jacob M. Appel? How did Jacob come across our palette?
First of all, if anybody's watching and knows the answer to this, let us know, because it's quite possible that somebody
else
out there
may have already
knows
knows.
exactly what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
If you happen to have spent some time on Amazon Prime, if you were kicking around one night or one
If
day,
you're a documentary watcher,
looking for something to do, like we happened to do one time,
yeah, on
and
a
we-
night off from Tiny Theater,
scrolling through the thing and looking at the titles,
we love
suddenly-
documentaries. There was a title named Jacob.
Jacob, we thought, what the heck?
Jacob? What is this documentary we've never heard of?
Yeah, documentary by a guy named John Stahl,
Yes, John.
and
New friend, John.
we thought, well, let's check it out. We watched this incredible documentary about this amazing man who lives in New York
Genius.
City, and all of the things that he's done, his achievements are just across the board wonderful. It's a great documentary. It's very well done. It's humorous. It's insightful, and
Inspiring.
this is what made it really particularly interesting for us at one moment. We were talking about his growing up, and they were interviewing his parents. And here's a picture of him
As a young guy. Yeah.
And wouldn't you know, I didn't
I
catch
said,
this, but you
that
spotted.
dude has on a Sanibel Island t-shirt.
Boop, boop, boop. So,
That's where we live in Southwest Florida. Sanibel Island is like 40 minutes away.
yes,
So-
we were greatly intrigued. So what happened is at the end of the documentary, we went online,
You went online.
and suddenly there's a website for Jacob M. Appel. Check it out. You see all the things he's done, all the plays he's written, all the novels he's written, all the papers he's written, all the stuff that's up. There's a little contact. Send Jacob an email. Say, Jacob, hey, we just saw this fantastic documentary about you. You know, incidentally, we do Tiny Theater. You're a playwright. Would you be interested in submitting something? And hey, we'd love to do some of your stuff, you know? And we also said, we noticed that you have some connection to Sanibel Island. We live down there, and how cool is that? Next morning, right?
Write
He
a
comes in.
letter. Write a letter.
Just
write a
Write
letter.
a letter, an email.
Because people will respond to you.
Right. That's right.
Jacob said yes, resounding yes. Here's my plays for free. Do whatever you want to do. We said we're only 2 people sitting in a closet reading plays. His character, he has multiple characters in his play. He said just go for it. Do it however you want to do it. Go wild. So we're going wild.
So we're going wild.
And then you, Brown, got in touch with John, the filmmaker.
John Stahl.
And now John's a new friend.
Hey, John.
So write the letter.
Write the letter. Just write the letter.
So should we just jump right
Yeah.
into Jacob's play?
Go.
Long story short, we're doing a whole week of Jacob's play. So tonight we're starting with one play. We're doing selected scenes from one of Jacob's plays.
And it's worth noting that his parents have been coming down to Sanibel Island for 50 years, and they tend to come down every winter. So he was so funny in saying, yeah, we usually come down every winter, so, this winter it'll come down, and it would be great to see you guys do something at Florida Rep, or, whatever. And unfortunately, obviously, that, well, we don't know what's going to go on. We don't know what's going to go on, but how cool to know that he comes down here often, and we look forward to meeting him in person sometime. In the meantime, we're going to share some of his stuff, which is really fun.
Okay,
are we ready?
Here we go. We're jumping right in.
Okay.
So we have some costume changes. So bear with us tonight.
Oh, yeah, you just got to roll with it.
We don't know what's going to happen. It's the beauty of live theater. So here we go.
Woohoo! Okay.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so here's the play for tonight.
Okay. It's ABORAPHILIA, or The Chopping Block, a fantasia in 2 acts, by Jacob M. Appel.
The characters in the play: Gwendolyn Gage, a Democrat, female, 55.
Lily Gage, Gwendolyn's older daughter, female, 26. Laurel Gage, Gwendolyn's younger daughter, female, 18.
Fairmont 5, a Republican, male, 28. Jimmy Duckfoot, the owner of a small garden supply store, male, 35.
A female poplar tree.
The object of Laurel's love, female, 19. And the only character remaining in the play that we won't see tonight, a little tease, is Dame Lucretia Bankmore Vandervelt, Fairmont 5's employer, a wealthy and imperious woman, female, 70s.
Set and props. One half of the stage is the Gage residence, an upscale brownstone in an outer borough of New York City. The structure is split open so we see the parlor. The windows of the parlor overlook a vacant lot, which occupies the other half of the stage. Jimmy Duckfoot's garden supply store stands on the opposite side of the vacant lot, though only the exterior is visible. Potted plants surround the entrance. 2 chairs adjacent to the Gage residence on the side opposite of the lot can serve as other venues around the city. For example, the Fairmont's apartment, Lucretia's office, etc. Most of the set should be left to the imagination, which is perfect for the tiny closet. Light may be used to emphasize scene shifts when multiple characters remain on stage. Anyone attempting to portray these locations realistically will do so at his or her own peril.
A note on the poplar tree. The poplar tree should be on stage in the vacant lot at all times. The actor portraying the tree may either be the tree or may appear through a portal in the tree. And finally, a note on subtitles and scene headings. These are intended to be either projected or read aloud. Okay.
Act 1.
Laurel enters the vacant lot and sits beneath the poplar tree. She's in love with the poplar tree. But the poplar tree is not in love with her. She attempts to seduce the poplar tree. but to no avail. She weeps silently.
Gwendolyn enters the brownstone.
Love is out of control these days. In my day, love was a straightforward proposition. One man, one woman, kisses, rings, vows, maybe a few letters or a bouquet of flowers if you were lucky. Then babies, at least 1, 2, 4. I had the good sense to stop at 2. And bickering, shouting, the carefully timed throwing of dinnerware. No bloodshed, except in the most extreme cases. Adultery, separation, divorce, alimony. You knew where you stood when I was a girl. But now, it's a free-for-all. First, my younger daughter falls in love with a tree. I don't mean metaphorically either. This isn't some sort of symbolic statement in effort to humanize the destruction of our primeval forests. I mean, she actually has romantic feelings for a tree. Look at her. 18 years old, and weeping all day like a willow. As though that wispy and undernourished, light-starved poplar in our vacant lot were the only tree in the forest. And now my older daughter, the sensible one, wants to marry a Republican.
Lily enters the brownstone.
A Republican?
I knew you were going to be judgmental.
I'm a judge. It's my job to be judgmental.
Fairmont didn't believe me, but I warned him. I said, Fairmont, darling, you don't have a clue of what you're up against. My mama is the most unreasonable person on the planet. And was I right? Of course I was right.
His name is Fairmont?
What's wrong with Fairmont?
It sounds like a cemetery.
I think it's a distinguished name.
It sounds like a Republican cemetery. Or maybe one of those luxury automobiles from the 20s, something with running boards.
Damn it, Mama! Fairmont is a human being. A tall, handsome human being. I don't see why you can't give him a chance.
Tall is no good. The blood doesn't drain from the skull properly. He's bound to burst an aneurysm.
You're making that up.
I never make anything up. I'm just frank. Some people are uncomfortable with the truth.
Like when you claimed Abraham Lincoln was a Democrat.
He was a Democrat. In his heart. The rest was just for show, political expediency.
You really are one of a kind, an American original. They should put you in a museum, or have you bronzed. My sister is in love with a tree. She is in love with a tree who is not in love with her. That is not in love with her. My sister is stalking a tree, damn it. And you're concerned about Fairmont's policies?
Don't take this out on your sister. She has nothing to do with this. And please don't call it stalking. That's such a dirty word. I prefer unrequited love.
Laurel is in desperate need of psychological help.
Oh, now who's being judgmental?
Yes, I'm being judgmental. Given the choice between loving trees or not trees, I'm extremely judgmental. Human beings do not marry trees.
In remote parts of India, they do. And on certain Pacific atolls.
Look around you, Mama. This is New York City, not some Pacific atoll. The first thing they teach you in psychiatric residency is that sanity is culturally specific. If one of my patients tells me he's into cutting out the hearts of strangers, I don't conclude the man is mentally fit because the ancient Aztecs also practiced human sacrifice. It's not healthy the way you humor her.
Better than making her cry the way you did. Telling her she had, what did you call it?
ABORAPHILIA, an unhealthy fetish for trees.
Yes, that's right. Call it a sickness. And who are you to decide who's healthy and what's not healthy, Lily Gage? You're no better than your father was, always saying, this is unhealthy, that is unhealthy, as though being a doctor gave him special insights.
If Laurel were schizophrenic, you wouldn't negotiate with her voices. If she had multiple personalities, you wouldn't buy them 2 sets of birthday presents. I wish I knew a way to put this so that it might get through to you. It's a tall tree. All the xylem and phloem, or whatever, probably can't get to the top. It's bound to have a tree aneurysm.
Okay, have your fun. But trees are neutral at worst. They don't cause any harm. Republicans are not neutral. Where on earth did you meet this Woodlawn anyway?
Fairmont!
Woodlawn, Arlington, Shady Acres, whatever. You haven't been hanging out in banking houses, have you? Or evangelical churches, God forbid?
I met him on a street corner opposite the garden shop. He was looking at real estate.
Well, that's exactly what we need. Republicans on our block. There goes the neighborhood.
He's not moving here, Mama. He was just looking at property for his boss. She inherited a couple parcels in the area.
A couple of parcels? Since when do you refer to land in terms of parcels? Oh, he's corrupting you already. Soon you'll be using the royal we.
Papa was a Republican. Lily and I are half Republicans.
You can't be half Republican. That's like being half contagious.
This is all about Papa, isn't it?
This is not about your father. This is about statistical evidence. Mixed political marriages don't work. It's a proven fact.
If I have to hear another of your proven facts... Remember when you insisted that Paul Simon, the folk singer, and Paul Simon, the senator from Illinois, were the same person? Is this that kind of proven fact?
Any Democrat will do. Any kind. A union man. Someone good with his hands, or maybe a college professor, some sort of intellectual. An illegal immigrant, a lesbian activist. I don't care about gender, income, age. Is Ethel Kennedy still alive? Now, she could probably use some affection. But no Republicans. I'm afraid I'm going to have to put my foot down on this one.
I'm 26 years old, Mama. I'm a doctor. You can't put your foot down.
As long as I'm your mother, I'll put my feet wherever I choose, thank you. If you wanted a Republican for a husband, you should have had a Republican for a mother. Gwendolyn retreats to the rear of the apartment and sits down. Lily steps forward and crosses to the pair of chairs that serve as Fairmont's apartment. Fairmont enters.
If you want a Republican as a husband, you should have had a Republican for a mother. I told you, she'd react irrationally.
She'll come round.
Laurel's going to have Johnny Appleseed for a father-in-law, but that she can live with. She was crystal clear. She prefers trees to Republicans. My mother is not the sort of woman who comes around. My mother is the sort of woman who turns over in her grave while she's still alive.
We're the last oppressed minority in this city. You can't discriminate against black or Jews or homosexuals. You can't even discriminate against cripples anymore. Well, you can't even call a cripple anymore, but you can say more or less anything you want about a Republican, and nobody so much as bats an eye. Now, for a judge, your mother certainly lacks perspective.
Oh, can't you stretch the truth? Tell her you're a maverick and independent.
Well, I could tell her lots of things. I could tell her I'm a cedar from Lebanon. I could, but I won't.
Maybe we could elope.
Now, Republicans don't elope. Anyway, we really do need the old coot's blessing. Otherwise, you'd end up wasting half your life in court. And once you have kids, it's all over. You're talking visitation orders, shared holidays, joint custody. Forget the Grey Panthers. Those grandparents' rights people are the Grey Gestapo.
We could have a baby, you know. Now, I mean.
What would I do with a baby? I can't even find my own car at the mall.
I'm telling you that nothing short of a grandchild, maybe a whole conclave of grandchildren, is going to change her mind. Even then, I don't know. This is a woman who once sued the Coca-Cola company in federal court over 75 cents she lost in a vending machine. First, she wrote them a letter demanding her money back. They offered to return the money, and she sued them anyway for the 23 cents postage she paid on the letter.
Trust me, baby. They didn't call me smooth-talking Fairmont in business school for nothing. I'm going to be in your neck of the woods this weekend anyway. Dame Lucretia wants to survey her property for herself. While I'm there, I think I'll just drop by your mother's place and see if we can't straighten things out. Nothing like turning on the personal charm. The old coot will see eye to eye with me in no time.
Please stop calling her an old coot. She is my mother.
The word coot will never cross my lips again.
If you love me, you'll love her too.
Even if I do see an old C-O-O-T, I won't call it a C-O-O-T. How about a slow-flying bird somewhat resembling a duck?
She says your name sounds like a cemetery.
Jesus H. Christ, I was named after an automobile. The Hudson Fairmont, one of those beautiful stretch touring sedans from the 20s with running boards.
Are you for real?
Of course not. I'm named after my father.
And your father's not named after a car?
My father was named after a state. He was born on a boat in the middle of the Atlantic, and my grandmother thought that naming babies after states was an American tradition. She'd read somewhere that Ginger Rogers' real name was Virginia.
Excuse me?
My grandparents were German. Vermont. Yeah, the state next to New Hampshire.
Next time around, remind me to fall in love with a tree.
Oh, have you been making eyes with the geraniums again?
Okay, try to talk to Mama if you absolutely have to, but please be careful. She is a criminal court judge. She could have you arrested. And if she can have you arrested, she will have you arrested.
Keep in mind who you're dealing with here. I work for Dame Lucretia Bankmore Vanderbilt. I may get arrested, but I won't stay arrested.
Lily and Fairmont exit. I'm in love. I'm 18 and I'm in love. I didn't plan it this way. It just happened. First, I tried dating boys. I didn't mind, really. I just didn't see what the big deal was about. So then a friend of mine said she'd had the same experience, and she suggested dating girls. I didn't mind that either, really, but that didn't seem like such a big deal. So I went back to dating boys because it was all the same to me. And there were more boys to choose from. And then I met my darling. So much for boys and girls.
Jimmy enters and stands in front of the garden supply store sweeping. He sings while he sweeps. The night is young, the sky is clear, and if you want to go walking, dear, it's delightful, it's delicious.
Excuse me.
Hey, oh, hi.
Are you the tree doctor?
Tree doctor, a shrub surgeon, plant psychiatrist, the Florence Nightingale of horticulture at your service.
Maybe you can help me then? What do you have in the way of aphrodisiacs?
Aphrodisiacs? I'm afraid we don't carry those. Could I recommend a sturdy Diefenbachia? Or a split-leaf philodendron? They do well in both sun and shade.
I need an aphrodisiac, an elixir, a love potion.
Oh, a love potion.
To make someone fall in love with me?
Well, I can't imagine an attractive girl like you needs a love potion.
But I do. I've fallen in love, and she hardly knows I'm alive.
Oh, well, maybe you're underestimating her feelings.
No, I wish. But she spends all of her time with foliage, flowering plants, epiphytes, tender young saplings. She won't give me the time of day.
Well, how would you feel about a better offer?
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, I was thinking maybe,
Yes?
Well, I thought maybe you might like to fall in love with me. If that's not too presumptuous a suggestion.
I'm flattered, but I can't.
Yeah, I guess I'm not your type.
It's not that at all.
No, you can't blame a fellow for trying, can you? I thought you might like men and women.
Oh, I do like both men and women.
Well, romantically, I meant.
Romantically, I like neither men nor women.
But you just said you've fallen in love with a woman.
In love with a woman? Is that what you thought?
Well, that's what you said. You just asked me for an aphrodisiac in order to make her fall in love with you.
No, not a woman. I'm in love with her.
That's a tree.
An Atlantic poplar. Populus atlanticus.
You're in love with a tree?
Oh, but to her, I'm less than firewood.
You won't go out with me because you're in love with her?
Please don't take it personally.
Well, how can I not take it personally? You're rejecting me for a tree.
Rejecting sounds so harsh. How about not preferring?
But I don't get it.
I don't either. At least not in the way I can explain. One day, last April, the final Friday before the final Saturday in April.
Oh, Arbor Day.
Exactly, Arbor Day. I was sitting on the wooden bench under that poplar tree when the skies opened. It rained and rained and rained. But I didn't get wet. The poplar tree sheltered me with her leaves. I've never felt so safe, so at ease. And then I looked up, and her shimmering branches, and I was in love.
I'm losing out to a tree.
I was ecstatic for days on end. I'd never been in love before, and it was wonderful. After that, no matter what happened to me, even when I had to have work done on my molars, it didn't hurt because I was in love. The dentist thought I was crazy to have 7 root canals done without anesthesia, but I wasn't crazy. I was numb with passion. I should have had my tonsils and my appendix taken out too, preemptively, but I didn't think of that. When you're in love, it's often hard to think of practical things. All I could think of were ways to prove my love. I bought her a bird feeder so she'd have music early in the morning. I tied pink ribbon around her trunk. I planted roses and violets all over the vacant lot. And only then I started to have my doubts. I loved her, but did she love me? And how can I be certain?
I imagine she's not too communicative.
She could communicate with me if she wanted to. I'm just sure she could. But she doesn't care.
Hey, pull yourself together, miss. There are lots of other trees out there.
Trees to hang myself from.
Oh, no, it can't be as bad as all that.
How do you know? Have you ever loved a tree before?
No, I haven't, but you'll figure something out. Maybe try a few tricks from one of those women's magazines, or Better Homes and Gardens.
Are you sure you don't have anything that can help me?
It's not a thing, I'm afraid. I got products that help plants grow. Nitrogen supplements, phosphorus supplements, vermiculite, and I've got lots of products to help plants die. Herbicides, weed killers, defoliants, but to make plants fall in love? I mean, even modern botany has its limits.
I knew it was hopeless. But thank you for trying. And for listening. I'm sorry, I'm such a wreck.
Hey, not a problem. Say, do you have plans for this evening?
I'll be sitting in the shade.
How about after dark?
I'll be sitting in the dark.
Would you want company? Maybe we could talk about plants or something.
Look, Mr.
Mr. Duckfoot. It's a Native American name. But call me Jimmy.
Please, Mr. Duckfoot, Jimmy, you seem like a very nice guy, but you're barking up the wrong girl.
Oh, you're the boss, miss. But say, isn't that tree a bit old for you?
Don't let the lightning scars fool you. She's only 52 rings. That's not even 20 in human years.
Oh, the perfect age.
Goodbye, Jimmy. Hey, no hard feelings.
Oh, no hard feelings. Of course not.
Laurel walks to the tree and sits down.
Come back again. Anytime. It was bound to happen. I finally meet the girl of my dreams, and she's in love with a tree. Go figure.
Jimmy shrugs and continues sweeping. Laurel nestles against the tree and falls asleep, embracing it. That's all you're gonna get. That's all you're gonna get.
ABORAPHILIA.
ABORAPHILIA, or The Chopping Block, a fantasia in two acts by Jacob M. Appel.
From the wonderful mind of Jacob
What?
Appel.
Jacob's mind is wild. He is,
And the plot.
I'm sorry,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, go ahead.
What's so fun, I think, is knowing that he's he works in psychiatry, he's a bioethicist, he's a lawyer and a playwright. So knowing all these things about him, you can see how it all weaves into his plays, all these different, the way his mind works, you know. We said that his writing is a little like, it's about social issues, but in these really peculiar, fantastical
scenarios.
Yeah.
As the scene progresses, the next scene introduces Dame Lucretia, and the play gets more and more interesting. And yeah, as it seems, it does seem kind of whimsical, but it does start to address an interesting social idea, you know, about permanence and about ownership and about who owns what and who's the real owner, and you know, things like that. And all the while having that quirky sense of humor that just goes through, which is fun and fun to play.
Yeah.
So thank you, Jacob.
Yeah. On not today's Monday. On Wednesday, we'll be doing another one of Jacob's plays called A Marriage of Inconvenience. So that's another one that's going to be wild.
So I think it's time for the
Yes. So there's a couple of posts that have dropped on the Facebook page. So check those out. One is about Jacob, and it leads you directly to Jacob's website if you're interested in that. And the other post is about John's documentary that we saw on Amazon Prime that led us to Jacob in the first place. So we encourage you, if you think that Jacob is an incredible human being like we do, check out that Amazon Prime documentary. It's really something else. And it's only about an hour, I think.
It's pretty good.
So yeah, it's pretty good. Gary, don't worry. He says, I missed it again. Don't worry, Gary. It'll be archived as soon as we turn it off. So time for the toast.
Time for the toast, everybody. Grab your tasty beverages.
Yeah, grab your tasty beverages.
We have reached another end of another
You
tiny
still have
theater.
your costume on. We've never done costume changes before.
And,
that was interesting.
That was interesting, and we've never had placards, and we've never had. It's just interesting. But anyway,
thanks for taking the ride with us.
yeah. And now our toast. Most of you know, at the end of every tiny theater, we toast the folks who are out on the front lines during the pandemic, helping to keep things as safe as they can. So we appreciate you all. And tonight,
in honor of Memorial Day, we toast all servicemen and women. But we want to give a particular shout out to the servicemen and women of the USS Theodore Roosevelt. So here's to them.
Cheers to them. Cheers, cheers. Clink your glasses.
Yes. To all those people who sacrificed so much to make us free.
Great. We appreciate you. We toast you. And we'll look forward to Wednesday night.
Yeah.
8:55. Same place.
Yep.
Same
be
closet.
there, be square. For more fun with Jacob. So
we hope your week is enjoyable, or the beginning of it is enjoyable.
Yeah, so take it easy, and thank you for being with us. And as always, remember, stay healthy, stay safe, stay home, and watch Tiny Theater. Woo. Okay, take it easy.
All right.
Bye.
So long.
We love you guys. Thank you for spending time with us.